Welcome to the Early Edge in 5. This is Sia Nejad. I'm the counselor of cash. We don't have Coach today, but you're going to see him tomorrow morning on the Early Edge morning edition. You know how we do Early Edge in 5-ish. We get right to the show, but before we do that, another programming note, a reminder from 10 o'clock this morning. We're going to remind you tomorrow too, because we need everybody watching this show for your bankroll. Ask anybody who's watched this show how they have done since we've started at the front end of the year. It, of course, is the Early Wedge, the RBC Heritage. We're going to do our show tomorrow at noon instead of 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So noon Eastern Standard, 12 Eastern Standard, that is when we are going to be doing tomorrow's Early Wedge. Without further ado, let's introduce who we have on the show today. A couple familiar faces to you in the chat, but not super familiar to me because I don't usually get to catch these two on Early Edge in 5. Let's get it started though, fellas. Jason, real quick, how you doing? How's everything going?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I love watching you guys on the Early Wedge as well. Funding my golf lessons to come for when we make a golf model. But it's a great day over here. Warriors in the playoffs. Love the matchup with the Kings. So I'm feeling good this week.
EC, I noticed you've got a hockey play and some baseball plays. How confident are we feeling? You're about to dish the plays out. How confident are we feeling, buddy?
You know, counselor, I'm always confident. I'm not making the plays because I know the risk of getting, crapped on if things don't go well. So you want to get them right. With that said, let me say this. I feel like on today's show, it's like when I go out with like a married couple and I'm the third wheel in terms of intelligence. Like I'm with two geniuses and then here's me. So this is a great show and I'm honored that you're filling in for Coach, counselor.
And I see Mike in here. He says, who is Jason? That is Frick and Frack. Well, listen, you guys take a lot of heat. You do, but you dish out a lot of heat as well. So I want to start there. But before I do, I noticed some people in the chat pointing out that we've already hit one of our bets. It's my bet. My only bet of the day was the White Sox first 5, and we cashed that. No thanks to the defense of the Chicago White Sox, who had 3 errors, but we still cashed it because Dylan Cease is that dude. EC, let's start with you. You got a hockey play. You got 3 baseball plays. Let's get it started.
All right, let's do it, counselor. I'm going to roll with the Sharks team total under 2.5 at -155. Now, this is a lot of juice, and I usually don't like to do that, but Winnipeg is leading Calgary and Nashville right now for the final Western playoff spot. In their last 7 wins, the opposing team has scored 2 or fewer goals. They're 0-2 against San Jose, and they've given up 3 in both. One of them went to overtime. But here's why I'm playing this. In 8 of the last 12 San Jose losses, they've scored 2 or less. I just feel like Winnipeg wins this game tonight because they have to. And I have a hard time seeing the Sharks score more than 2. So I'm laying the -155, which I usually hate. All right, then we've got 3 plays. The DraftKings specials, the over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. We're going to start with the Tampa Bay Rays, Isaac Paredes, over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs at +110. Now, he's hit this number in 6 of his 7 starts this season. He's 3 for 6 against Red Sox starter Nick Pivetta with 2 home runs, hitting 7th in that order for a team that's 9-0 and has covered every game on the run line. I'm taking my chances at +110. Great value there. I hate to go against my Cubs on the next one, but Ty France, the second baseman for the Mariners, is on a roll. His over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs is -130, but he's hit this in 9 of 10 games this season. He's 1-2 career against Drew Smyly, who stinks. I don't even know why the Cubs are still pitching this guy. He gave up 9 hits and 4 2/3 innings pitched in his only start this year. Smyly once was a decent pitcher. I'm not buying it. I think he'll be out of the rotation soon, and I think Ty France hits this number. And then we're going to the worst starting pitcher in Major League Baseball, and that's Patrick Corbin. He's facing the Angels tonight. Now, Hunter Renfroe is likely going to hit cleanup for them. His over is -145. In his last 2 games, he's homered in each. He's 5 for 9 with 2 homers and 7 ribbies. Career against Patrick Corbin, he's 6 of 21, 2 homers and 7 RBIs. And get this, though, guys, righties are hitting .405 against Corbin in 2023. They were hitting .320 against him last year. He stinks. He shouldn't be in the bigs anymore. He used to be effective, not anymore. And we're going to target all the Angels righties, especially Hunter Renfroe.
I'm really intrigued by the Hunter Renfroe play. And Jason, before I get to you, everybody remember what I said with respect to a possible live bet in that Angels game tonight. It starts at 9:38. I'm actually hoping, because I didn't want to lay the juice, I'm actually hoping that maybe the Angels with Suarez find themselves down early and we get a really nice number on a live bet with the Angels. So it's just something to consider, but absolutely love those plays, EC. All right, Jason Spector, I've made you wait long enough. What's your play? It looks like it's involving baseball as well.
Yeah, well, first, I just want to say I'm proud of EC for not using spring training stats this time. Love you, EC. Great job. Good job. Improvement. That's what we're striving for. But we're going to go and stay in baseball. No basketball for tonight. I'm excited for the play tomorrow. We'll have picks on that on tomorrow's show. We're going to go A's, Orioles over 8.5 at plus 110. I saw in the chat earlier saying we were all over the A's. Yeah, I'm just going on the scoreline because the A's this season have had 9 games and given up 72 runs. Let me put you in terms. That averages out to 8 runs a game. 6 of their 9 games would have gone over this line, and 5 of the 9 games they played in so far would have gone over this line if the A's went scoreless. But they're not going scoreless. The A's game totals average to 11 runs per game, and the Orioles aren't pitching shutouts either. They've given up 49 runs in 9 games as well. That's 5.4 runs per game. And their game totals are also averaging to about 10.4. Neither one of these teams is really elite at that, but the amount of runs they're giving up is just too high for me for this line. That's why we're on over 8.5 at plus 110.
Love that play. Love those stats, Jason Spector, the speculator. That absolutely great call there. I love what you said about the A's, the overhitting, even if they weren't to score any runs, which of course they have been doing. So love that play. Let's hit the recap screen and go over all of these plays. Jason Spector, otherwise known as the speculator, he's on the A's Orioles over 8.5 at a plus number, which I love, plus 110. EC, Eric Cohen, Sharks total goals under 2.5 at minus 155. Isaac Paredes over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs at plus 110. Ty France over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 130. And Hunter Renfroe over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 145.
Let me say this too, Counselor. After I saw Spector send in his pick this morning, so I got a 50% boost on FanDuel that you have to use on something. And that was actually, I took the Orioles and over in a custom FanDuel parlay. I didn't make it my own, but that's what you can do. So, I texted Spector. I was like, oh my God, your play is the one that I already bet. I feel so good about it. Like, do I need to dump my house on this play now? Because the model actually agrees with something that I kind of liked. So I love that too. The other one, I just want to throw in another lean that I had that I didn't use. The Guardians used the majority of their bullpen yesterday in that extra innings win over over Seattle. I like Shane Bieber's over for his outs tonight. Outs recorded, I think it's like 19.5. So that's him pitching into the 7th inning. He needs to save that bullpen. So I actually like that as a lean as well.
Yeah, and that's a game we talked about a lot on the early edge at 10 o'clock this morning. John Frary says, no plays today, Sia. Well, yes and no. No plays on this show. I already hit my play. I had one play today. It was the White Sox first 5, as I mentioned at the front end of the show. That one hit. But of course, the rest of the crew had a bunch of plays from this morning. And of course, you see the plays from EC and Jason here. Gentlemen, I think that's all the damage we can do today. For the early edge in 5. My name is Sia Nejad. Coach will be back for the morning show tomorrow. So you won't be missing him too much because not here today. He will be here tomorrow. And of course, he and I and Patrick McDonald will be on the early wedge tomorrow at noon. That's 12 Eastern Standard Time. But this has been the early edge in 5. It's been a special day for me to get EC and Jason on the same show as myself. For now, that's all the damage we can do. Let's go ahead and cash those tickets, or at least take them straight to the pay window when they cash. I'm the counselor of cash. We'll see you next time here